Yeah, now do I got something for you. Man, today we're gonna go over some cheap gear. We're gonna be covering the Epiphone Les Paul Special 1, right there. And we're also gonna be doing a good old Fender Squier. Stay tuned, because we also got 4 amps we're gonna go through too. Bam! Okay, so the 4 amps we got here today is going to be a Fender Frontman 15G. We also got a Peavey Rage 158, old school. We also have a Boss Katana Air, and we also have the Blackstar ID Core 10. Let's see how they do. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at this Fender. This is probably everybody's first guitar. And for good reason. It's a solid guitar as long as you get it set up right. This one's got a brown sunburst, poplar body. The fretboard is Laurel. The pickup configuration is a humbucker single, so HSS. We also have the old school tremolo, and that really is pretty much it. You know, you got your volume and two tone knobs for each of the pickups here. So we also have a 5-way switch here. Cool. And it feels pretty good. I mean, for a starter guitar, it's great to just kind of get into it and start jamming away, you know. It stays in tune pretty well. Now the whammy, you start messing with this thing, it's going to whack it out of tune. And that just goes without saying. So, I mean, yeah, you can play around with it and see what it's like, but hey, why not? Okay, so here we have a Epiphone Les Paul Special 1. This is a pretty cool guitar. It feels great. It has that, you know, cool look to it. We got a bridge humbucker. It's a 700T. The neck bucker up here is a 650R. We have a master volume and a tone knob here. We have a 3-way switch, and the hardware is nickel on this one, I believe. This is actually a one-piece hardtail, so it's usually you'll have your hardtail piece back here and then your bridge over here, but they threw it all in one. You could actually intonate closer to here. I'd have to say that, you know, just based off of the feel and the playability, this is probably the better deal. Now, I think this one goes for $179 new. The Squiers, I think if you just buy them by itself, it's about $130. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think this one came in a pack with the amp and the picks and the strap and all that stuff. So for a pack like that, it's about $289. It's a pretty good deal. You know, we're talking about people who are just starting here. So the idea is to get them into something that you're actually going to pick up and play and enjoy. Don't get them a guitar that is going to discourage them, because I've had that before. And fortunately, I stuck through it and found my way through it and loved it. That doesn't happen with everybody. If you can get the right guitar and have it set up properly, you'll have a much better playing experience with this stuff. So make sure we do that first. Get a guitar that is set up properly and is easy to play, so you can just go ahead and get started with it. So our first amp is going to be the Fender Frontman 15G. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about this one. You can probably find these for about 30 to 40 bucks used. So not a big investment. If you want to just try it out, see how it goes, this might be a good option for you. But again, like I said, be wary of getting something where it's just going to make it harder for you to like it. And this is a pretty good amp. It'll get you by. You can start playing a couple riffs and stuff. But I don't know. It wouldn't be my first choice for my son. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's turn her on. Okay, so start off, we got volume, a gain, a button that changes to the gain, the drive volume. So whenever you got the gain going, this is how you control the volume for it. You got the treble here, the middle, and the bass. So, and we also have an aux in where you can actually put in a CD player. Who's got a CD player anymore? But you could use an RCA jack to go in there and maybe hook up to your phone. That's cool. And if they're learning and they're screeching on the guitar, tell them to put headphones on. Go ahead and get a 1/4-inch jack for it, because they probably don't have a headphone that has a 1/4-inch jack in it. So go ahead and get that adapter, pop it in there, good to go. So let's see what it sounds like. Not too bad. All right, let's see what we can do with the drive here. Let's turn that on. Let's make sure it's not blasting. All right, drive's on. I actually got drive probably about 6. All right, sounds good here. Let's see what we got. Not too bad. I mean, I guess back when I was a kid, I was playing punk riffs, you know, like just a typical. So this might work out for you, you know, like it's not horrible. Let's see if we can kind of tune it in a little bit more. There's the middle. I kind of like the middle down. Treble's already up right now. The bass. And that's actually... Okay, that sounds a little better. Let's actually bring up the gain. Let's go all the way out. So one thing about these is that when you push the gain like that, it just muddies up. And you really shouldn't be putting the gain up that high anyways. So let's bring it back down. There we go, back to 5. That's better. All right, so that's the Fender Frontman 15G. Let's move on to the next. All right, so I'm actually a little excited about this one. I think anybody around my age in the 90s, early 90s, these were pretty popular. They got cool distortion. And to this day, I think they still got a great tone. We got a clean channel and a lead channel. So we can switch between those two with this switch. We also have a modern and vintage switch for the distortion. So we'll see how much that changes it. We got 3-band EQ, and it controls both the clean and the lead channel. And we also have a headphone jack. So these are pretty cool. It's 15 watts, and this one has a CD input. It's a 1/4 inch though. So it doesn't have the RCA, so that just makes it too play through a phone. Now, I think you'd have to get a stereo jack for this one, but let's go ahead and check it out. All right, let's go ahead and put it to clean. All right, that sounds good. Let's actually turn that down a little bit. Now I could already tell with this guitar too, it just feels a lot more solid. So this is probably a good combination right here. Cool. All right, so let's check out the lead. Back to the bridge. Game was already all the way up. All right, that sounds already just better to my ear. It's not as like scratching on the higher end there. This is much better for me personally. So let's mess with the EQ here a little. Bring the mids back. Let's give it some lows. Give it a little more highs. Cool. I like that. So let's dime it. All right. Now that actually sounds like a nice amp. I'm really digging this one and the way it sounds. Let's see if I can bring out the highs a little bit, bring the mids out a little bit more. Alright, and also probably it's these pickups too. Probably a little better than what's in that Fender Squier over there. So, yeah, I'm really digging this one. Cool. I'm digging that. We're going to give the old Fender another chance here. Right now we got the Blackstar ID Core 10. This is actually a stereo amplifier, and it has two speakers in it. I think they're 3.5 inch speakers in there. And they're both 5 watts. So as you can see here, we have an MP3 line in. So same thing as your CD player in like those old school ones. We also have a, let's see, emulated out headphone jack. So it's actually going to emulate the sound of a cabinet. So that's going to be kind of cool. It should sound a lot better going through there. It also has a USB, so you can hook up to the computer, and they have their own little program where you can actually make the settings and change them inside of this program, and they will store to the actual amp. So that's a pretty cool feature there too. So we're looking at something that's a little more modern. We have a clean, which is clean warm, a clean bright, a crunch, a super crunch, OD1 and OD2. We also have the gain stage here, the volume for it, and the ISF, which is kind of a patent for Blackstar, and it kind of goes from American on the left to British on the right. Let's go ahead and turn this on and see what we can get out of it. All right, so we're starting with the super crunch. I already like that a lot more. Well, I don't know. The tone is definitely there, and it definitely helps to have the stereo sound to it. Let's turn it up a little bit. Sounds pretty good. I like that. I like that. Yep. All right. What else do we got? Let's go ahead and play the riff. All right. I like that. That sounds pretty good. So let's go back to crunch. Sounds pretty much the same. Of course, it's a little less gain. All right, let's go back to the clean bright. Well, this is cool because for beginner, something like this would be cool because like it, for me at least, it started that creative feel for me. So once I heard something really good, I just the creativity just started coming out. So that's a good thing. All right, so clean warm. All right, so actually let's do some, let's see, some reverb here. All right. That sounds great. Let's go to overdrive. Oh man, here we go. Here's some metal for you. Excuse my playing there. All right, that's a really like thick tone there. That sounds nice. Let's go back over to the American side. See what that sounds like. All right, sounds like brighter. Let's drop the reverb there. All right. All right, that sounds cool. So a few other things you can do. You can actually hold this button here to manually store a setting. So you could also do it on the computer, but you could do it here as well. Like if you had like some reverb or some delay or anything like that, you can actually save that setting onto this mode here. Let's see what else we got here. We got the delay. Let's see what the delay sounds like. That's pretty cool. That's cool. I think with this tap, we can make it even go faster. Yeah. Now this one so far is got to be, it is up there. If you want that like more real sounding amp sound though, and not so digital, I'd probably go for the Peavey Rage. But this one is great for beginners, I think, because I don't think you'd appreciate the Peavey until you kind of get out there, start playing tubes and stuff like that. The digital is probably the way to go. And yes, I don't have a line 6 in this this lineup because I don't have one. But I would say that I wouldn't even look at those. You know, I hate to say that, but they have a bad rep. I mean, you can get some good tones out of it, but it just, if it's something that you get and you want to, your next upgrade, you're going to be blown away, then go ahead and do that. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the last one, and that's the Boss Katana Air. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Les Paul, and this time we got the Katana Air. This is actually by Roland. They started coming out with a amp. They used to have the Cube, and from there I think they went into the Katana Airs. So this is probably the most expensive of the bunch, coming in at about $430 on Amazon. So if you want to put a little money into it, the form factor is great. It's lightweight, and the coolest feature about this thing is that it has a wireless adapter, and that's pretty cool. So this little guy, all you gotta do is hook it in there, and it stays on for about 12 hours. So it's pretty long for a little device that just sits there in charge, you know. So as soon as you hook that up, it's been on standby, and as soon as I pick that up and put it in the guitar, it's ready to rock and roll. Let's go ahead and play our riff. All right. So this is actually sitting on the Brown sound. So this is a really cool sound. This one's got a acoustic, a clean, a crunch, a lead, and a Brown. So I think the Brown is more of a British, and then the lead is maybe more of an American sound. And then you got your crunch, which is AC/DC style stuff. This has all the effects too. You have your actually you have a boost on this one and a modular effect. The delay. You also have a reverb over here, and then your master and your tap, which you can actually change your delay with that guy there too. So let's go ahead and give it a little bit of boost on the British. Oh yeah, see? There we go. Alright, that's a nice sounding boost. Let's see what the mod does. It's almost like a wah sound. Alright, let's turn that off. Let's go to delay. That sounds pretty good. All right, let's go to reverb. All right, that sounds pretty good. I like that. And this also has a stereo effect as well. There's 2 speakers in it. I don't know what size the speakers are, maybe 2-inch? Because it looks pretty small. It might be 3-inch, I'm not sure. Let's go back and try some of the other modes here. Okay, that's pretty cool. So that's maybe in a more of American style sound. Then we got a crunch. Okay, cool. How about the clean? Let's pop it over on the neck. That sounds like too much gain. All right, that's pretty good. Mind you, one thing that I read about this is that the amp is in 20 watts if it's on batteries, which it does have, and you can, I think it's 6 AA's. But if it's on the plug, it's 30 watts. So that's pretty loud. That's louder than the first 2 amps that we tried. Actually louder than the Blackstar as well. All right. So let's try the acoustic now. Switch it back over to the bridge. And okay, so I think this amp is definitely a bigger sound than what it looks like. It's perfect to just kind of like have in your, maybe in your office. You could definitely hook up your headphones to it as well. And that's through a 3.5 millimeter regular headphone jack. This also has Bluetooth. So that's pretty cool. You could hook up through Bluetooth and play music through it and be a regular just speaker. None of the other options had that. Hence the price, $429 new for this thing. Now I've seen it go around for $350 used, which I don't know. If you don't see yourself kind of venturing out for a while and you think something like this would work for you, and you plan to be the bedroom guitar player, then this would be perfect for you. It sounds great. It has the stereo effect, and it has Bluetooth, and it's wireless. Come on, what else does a bedroom guitarist need? All right, so I think that does it for all these. Let's go ahead and do an overview. Catch you there. All right. So let's talk after we've done all that. Let's kind of review. I've actually just went back and listened to some of the tracks here, and you know, it's always different when you're playing it in person than it is when you're recording it. And then, you know, that could factor into the mics that you're actually using and stuff. But I think for cleans, I'm pretty close to actually liking the Fender to sound as close, you know, closer to being a real amp instead of being a digital sounding. It's just straight up solid state. I dig the cleans on it, but I did not like the distortion on it. Maybe it was all right for maybe some punk rock stuff. It just had that high end that was just annoying, that I just wouldn't enjoy over time. So it wouldn't be my first pick to give your child or your significant other their first endeavor into the guitar world. The Peavey Rage to me sounded the best as far as just overall tone. And I knew that kind of going into it was going to be like that because I guess over the years in my experience, probably when I first started playing it, I thought it sounded like crap. Over the years and experience and, you know, my ear tuning to sounds, that amp definitely has just this raw, cool, real guitar tone to it. Even in the recording, it sounded pretty good. It had just that thumpiness to it. The Boss Katana Air, that was pretty good. It sounded a little thin though on this recording, so I wasn't too excited about that for the price point that it's at. So is it worth it for the price point? I mean, if you're not worried about money and you like the fact that it's wireless, then go for it for sure. Now, the ID Core, the Blackstar, I could see some good use in that because you can actually hook up to it with the USB and record it direct, and it sounded pretty good that way. I did not do that. I did it through a mic setup. So would it sound better? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could tweak it to sound good. But if you wanted to do the mic setup, I would probably still go for the Peavey Rage. For an all-around guitar amp, I might actually stick with the ID Core, the Blackstar, for a beginner guitar player, because it has all the options. It has the tones. It sounds big in the room, not as big in the recording. Also because it has that stereo effect, the two speakers going there. So it has that going for it. So overall, I would probably, for a beginner, pick the ID Core. But for tone-wise, I would pick the Peavey Rage. And I'm sticking to that. And as far as the guitars, I'd have to say that the Epiphone Les Paul is probably the better pick of those. The pickups sound better. It's a lot hotter. I'm a metal guitar player, so I tend to lean towards more of that, but you get more out of those kind of pickups. The Fender definitely had the brighter tones. If you're gonna play, you know, indie stuff, alternative and all that, that might be the better fit for you. And it's just an easy guitar to play. But then, again, you know, with my experience, I feel like the Epiphone overall is probably the better guitar. It costs more, right? So they put a little bit more into it. It's a little more stable, so I can depend on it to stay in tune. So the Katana Air actually has a USB as well, and I don't know the full capabilities of that one, but I'm sure you can have it direct out to a DAW and actually record with it too. All right, tell me what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've put some time into actually doing all this background stuff for you guys, and you know, each step of the way, I hope it gets better. All right, hope you guys like it. Till next time, peace.